and Barb here. So Dennis, how about you go first, and then Barb, you're at next.
Morning, Jim. Thank you. Good morning, all. We're dealing with obviously the coronavirus, and so we're having city council virtual meetings, and still will for, well, who knows how long. We had one on Monday night. Some of the things that we're talking about right now, a lot of ongoing things, but certainly the things we talked about Monday night had to do with we're working the budget starting for 2021, and certainly we're dealing with the things that might be impacted as a result of what's going on with the coronavirus. And but we got a tremendous staff there, and Sue Hager and those folks are putting together a budget, predicting as much as they can what the outcome's going to be and what our impacts might be from our income as a result of the virus. So again, it's working on that. A part of that is certainly, and things we talked about Monday night had to do with staffing. And we got some changes to the staff that are predicted as a result of, again, the coronavirus. Some are temporary positions and some will be ongoing. One of them has to do with our communications and marketing, and of course, Barbara can talk to that. And then we have a position for emergency management, as well as a person forecasted, at least temporarily, to talk about things like certainly the budget, but I won't go into any details on that. The other thing that we're dealing with is a housing study and affordable housing. It actually was part of the goals for calendar year 2020 anyway. The issues now that are coming forth with regard to the changes that need to be made to help with getting affordable housing for the city of Sequim is ongoing, and we talked about it on Monday night that we were scheduled to do a code scrub. Most of you probably don't know what that means, but anyway, we have to make some changes to what is outlined and what the city can and cannot do as a result of what's in our codes. And that means that we have to make some changes, and that's where we talked about on Monday night. Barry Berezowski and the community development is working on that, and he asked for some guidelines from the city council about where we wanted to go, and we're going forward to that. Probably September or October, we should see some more impactful issues that are going to come to the council for approval to help in that regard with regard to affordable housing. It happens to be that Monday night was the only meeting we'll have in August. It happens twice a year, August and December, that the city council only has one meeting in those months. So our next meeting will be not until September the 14th. And I'll just take an opportunity. I know the agenda shows the sister city. I will continue to say that we are not meeting. The sister city, Shiso and the city of Sequim will not be exchanging students this year again, or no, excuse me, will not be exchanging students this year because of the coronavirus, and so the meetings are not happening, and so nothing more to report in that regard. So I'll turn it over to Barb, and I know she's got some really exciting information. Don't you, Barb?
Good morning, everyone. 7:30 is early. Yeah, I had a few things I wanted to go with the group. I have the lodging tax numbers from July, and just a reminder, this actually reflects May numbers. I didn't put this up on my screen, but basically we brought in just over $16,000 in lodging tax. Last year we brought in over $38,000, so still a pretty dramatic impact, but not as severe as what my prediction was when I went through the budget in April and reforecasted revenue and expenses. So we're still able to do some things. I do have some marketing that is starting to happen. There's some print ads that I had planned on before that I had already signed contracts for. So I just kind of shifted the focus on our messaging and am really gearing things towards the outdoors, biking, hiking, kayaking, reminders to recreate responsibly, because as Nancy can tell you, visitors are here. We are very busy. The national park is very, very busy. In fact, it's kind of a problem because there's some parking that's not available at the Ridge. I heard just this week that parking at Ruby Beach was actually backed all the way up to Highway 101. I know the forest is busy. I don't think Charlie's on the call, but you all know that he's an avid backcountry backpacker, and he's seen a lot more people out there than what he has in previous years. So we know people are here on the peninsula. We just want to remind them of ways that they can be here safely. So that's what we're doing. So I'll have an ad in the fall issue of Northwest Travel and Life and 1889 magazines. And the Olympic Peninsula Tourism Commission is working on what we're calling a recovery campaign. We're not exactly sure when it will start. It might be this fall. It kind of depends on what's going on in the world. But really focusing on all those outdoor assets that we have out here. The theme is kind of, you can't get any more Northwest than this. And I think there's some really fun messaging and visuals that are being put together for that. So more to come. That will include digital, print, the transit advertisings that we've been doing the last few years, and television. And there will be some co-op opportunities available in that I will plan to participate in. So I think that's going to be really fun, and we'll time it when the timing is right, but there's some really, really good work going on there. I did want to share my screen real quick and show you, Jim, is that possible?
Let's see. You got it, Angie?
You should be good to go now.
Okay, great, thanks. So I wanted to show you this article that just came out. This is in 1889 magazine, which is a Washington State, it just focuses on Washington State. It's a really nice high-end publication. I've been doing some advertising with them over the years. Can you see that? Because I can't see it on my screen.
Yep.
Can you see it? Okay, so this just came out in their August-September issue. It's an article about stand out from the crowd. It's a 4-page article, and it features locations that are great where you can go and social distance. And we have the entire back page for SCLIM. So it's a full page article about coming out here in our great outdoors and how you can social distance in lavender fields. And so hopefully that'll have some impact for all of our farms that are still open. And then real quick, just to, Dennis mentioned the position. What we're proposing is a very part-time position, probably about 15 hours a week, that would help support me in a couple of key areas. So I think you all know my time is split. Half of it is tourism marketing and half of it is general communications for the city. So this new position would be 80% out of lodging tax and 80% tourism marketing, but also serve as an additional backup for me for general communications. Sometimes it's just really helpful to have extra boots on the ground. But their primary focus will be event coordinating and social media marketing. And both of those things we've had some additional help with through contracts in the last few years, but an in-house position will actually give us more flexibility and save us money. So that was what's proposed in the budget, and I think council seemed pretty supportive of it. So I'll let you know. It would be after the first of the year for sure. That's all I have. Thanks.
Okay, thank you, Barb. And up next is Brown. And let me, thought I had that listing there. Brown, then Commissioner Ozias, and then Emily, and then Dave from PUD.
Good morning, everyone. Hopefully we can actually meet properly before too long. This has been kind of a novelty, but it's not like the real thing. But of course, I'm just basically going to let you know what's going on on my end from the downtown businesses that I manage, not manage, but if you will, I oversee as a landlord, and then also the radio station. Um, but downtown, I got to tell you, I am so impressed with. There's about 28 or so businesses that I'm very close to as managing the properties, and the attitudes and the resiliency of the downtown merchants has really been inspiring. It's been uplifting, um, and one person I thought was really continuing to struggle. About a month ago, I said, "Are you going to be able to do okay with your rent? Can I help you with your rent?" And they says, "I can do fine with my rent, but I'd like you to fix my sign." And I said, "Yeah, I can do that. Happy to do that." But so the attitude has been really, really good. I appreciate that. I told you with the radio station, we had a couple of campaigns that really helped with the food bank. We did that, and I reported that last time. Um, we um, we had a hunger campaign, speaking of along the same lines with a grocery outlet that we just did. Decided to do a little promotion with for our Canadian listeners. We always know they're out there. Interestingly enough, all three radio stations, the our signal goes uh, perfectly well right across the water. And you could be in downtown Victoria, in a parking lot in Safeway in Victoria, all the way to the top of the Malahat, all three radio stations. And so you may hear it now, it's been going about a week or so. I mentioned this to Todd and then our station manager, Stan. I said, let's do a promotion thanking our Canadian listeners, just letting them know that we know you're out there and our borders may be closed, but our airways are not. So until our waterways are open, please continue to enjoy our airwaves in Victoria. We know you're there. We see you every night. We see the lights are on. And so that's actually running right now. One thing we're going to do next week, and just kind of a whimsical sort of thing, this will put a smile on your face, but next week would be Fair Week. And of course, everybody likes a fair. It's the time of year, most people are out, fingers crossed, the weather's good, short sleeves, good times, people of all ages. And so next week, the theme of the radio station is going to be the No Fair Fair. And we're just going to be inviting people to call in during Todd's show, during the morning show. Everybody's limited to a minute, but give us a little memory, a fair memory. And again, that's called the No Fair Fair, and just something whimsical and fun. And of course, Aaron and I are the two people here that are with the media, and as to some degree, we need to be the community's biggest cheerleaders for business, along with the Chamber of Commerce and all of us. So just doing our part. Thank you.
Thank you, Brad. Commissioner Zayas, please.
Yeah, good morning, everybody. I'll try and hit briefly on a handful of things this morning. First of all, with regard to COVID response efforts generally, we have at this point deployed pretty much all of our initial discretionary CARES Act dollars. I hit on that last month, but the areas we've really tried to focus on have been supporting childcare, supporting local businesses, supporting rental and utility relief for individuals, and supporting our local food system and food network. So we have been working with partners, including the Swim Dungeness Chamber. Thank you, Angie and others, for all of your good work, and are anxiously awaiting to understand whether we're going to get any second tranche of CARES dollars, and if so, we'll be talking immediately about how to best deploy those in the community. So more to come there. I haven't talked about the Dungeness Off-Channel Reservoir for a while, and I just wanted to give you a brief update on that. We've had a lot of sort of background work going on over the summer, doing a cultural resources inventory to make sure that there's no surprises that would preclude us from constructing the reservoir and on that parcel. working to do some seismic studies, and working to develop a memorandum of understanding between all the different partners in the project, which includes irrigators, the county, the city of Sequim, the Conservation District, the Jamestown S'Klallam Tribe, Department of Ecology, Department of Natural Resources, and others. So I think that project is slowly and steadily taking shape. County budget, of course, as everyone else, we're starting to get into budget season. We're anticipating ending the year with about a $3 million loss. Some of that was already anticipated because of a fair amount of investment in IT infrastructure that we've been making, sort of some deferred capital investments, if you will. Fortunately, we have worked hard to maintain a strong reserve over the last couple of years, so we are in a better position than most other counties. However, we are being very careful with our budgeting, and we have asked all department heads to come prepared with a contingency budget that is a reduction of about 10% across the board. So I'm curious to see, you know, how each department considers that. So, but overall, I'm relatively confident that the county budget is going to be in decent shape for at least the next year. Wanted to touch briefly on elections because, of course, there's a lot in the news about that, and unlike some other places, we are investing in a new ballot sorter that will be in place before the November election, which is going to really help speed things up and make it easier to operate in a socially distanced environment. We have figured out a new protocol for the canvassing board and how we can perform that function and still allow the public to view it when the public cannot attend a meeting. And want to remind everyone that we have a lot of drop boxes all across the county. And so because there are increasing concerns about dropping your ballots in the mail, please don't hesitate to use ballot drop boxes when it gets to be the time. And finally, I wanted to remind folks that our next Board of Health meeting is on the 18th. And in addition to an update on COVID, we are going to be reviewing a new solid waste ordinance. I know that probably doesn't sound all that interesting to most of you, but it is actually relatively interesting if you care about recycling, if you care about investments in our waste stream infrastructure or similar issues, then you may want to take a look at that, and the Board of Health will be reviewing that ordinance at their meeting. And unless there are questions, that's all I've got this morning. Thank you.
Thank you, Mark. Emily?
Hey, hello, good morning, everybody. So Knowles has been busy with offering curbside library service, and I think the last month we were still in those early phases working out the kinks, but now we've gotten down this really great system. So that's been going really well. In July, we checked out over 4,000 items in Sequim. That's physical items. Actually, Sequim had the highest circulation compared to any other branch at Knowles. Typically PA had significantly higher, so that was fun to see how excited people are in Sequim to get back to the library to get materials again. Certainly, you know, we're seeing an increase of e-resources, checking out ebooks, audiobooks, but there's a lot of people who do like the physical books as well, and other items that are in a physical format. We're promoting people getting their library card if they don't have a card. So for anyone on this call, or if you know of people who don't have a card, very easy to get a card. You can get it online at the Knowles website, knowles.org. You just fill out a form, and you can start using it for online resources, placing holds without the physical card. But if you stop by the library during curbside Monday through Friday, 11 to 5, 10 to 2 on Saturday, then you can get a physical card and actually check out more items as well. We've been busy giving out a lot of free things at curbside as well, not just library materials. We partnered with the S'Klallam EOC, Emergency Operations Center, to give out masks. So those are still popular. They're not flying out as fast as they were, but we've given out probably around 1,000 or so just in Sequim, which is at the library in Sequim, which is really great. So we're giving those out throughout the library system. Community members have been so happy to get those masks. So really grateful that EOC has access to so many masks. We've also been partnering with a couple different entities to give out seeds, both pollinator seeds, like bee-friendly seeds, and also we have a seed library at the library, so we've been giving out free vegetable seeds as well. And excuse me, we're also working with the school and with teachers and figuring out ways the library can be supporting the school district's efforts, along with individual students with their schooling needs, both with online resources, library cards, and getting physical materials to kids as well. Continuing on some programs we've had, just really reworking them in a remote way. So for example, the Battle of the Books program, those were in-person book discussions we had with 4th grade students. Now we're moving those online through Zoom, hoping that we'll continue to have a good interaction with students and engagement with reading. Mark mentioned the elections. I just want to throw out there, you know, one of the roles of the library is to really get out accurate information and to help people be able to discern the information they're getting. We've been trying to get the word out about the votewa.gov website. If you have not checked that out yet, it's really amazing what the state is offering. Certainly not every state has this. You can, you know, you put in your first name, last name, date of birth, and that's where you can get the online voter guide. And it's targeted for specifically your precinct. And so you can get accurate information about your local voting area. And what I think is really fun is you can go back and see every single election that you've voted in. I don't know how far back it goes, but I feel a little civic pride when I log in and see like, wow, like every single election, like there it is documented, like, yep, we received our ballot, we received our ballot. So we definitely want to get the word out about that. And you can check to see if your ballot has been received as well. So if you have concerns about, has my ballot been received or not, you go into this votewa.gov website and you can see when it has been received.
I'm sorry, what was that website again?
It's votewa.gov.
Got it, thanks.
Yep. Yeah, really great one. Typically, we've partnered in the past with the elections office as well to provide resources to help people print their ballot if they've lost their ballot or damaged it. So we are right now working on a plan to provide wireless printing at the library. People are really missing printing, and we're exploring laptops that will be available for checkout. So hopefully we'll be up and ready by then, because we definitely want to provide support to voters in any way that we can to help get information out there. So finally, I'll talk very briefly about a book called Dynamic Aging. Is that backwards on your screen? Probably.
No, looks good.
Looks good? Great.
Yeah.
It's backwards on mine. I've never held up a book here before. So this book is by Katie Bowman. She is a local business owner in Sequim. She owns Nutritious Movement. Her work is worldwide. It's pretty cool that she's doing her work here in the community. She's written several books about moving your body, dynamic movement from your feet to, I don't know, any parts. She has a video series as well. They're all available for checkout at the library. This one is really great. It's called Simple Exercises for Whole Body Mobility. It's a stressful time for basically everybody right now. Many of us on this call, we probably sit a lot or use a workstation where we're just kind of in one spot, and it's really easy to just move your body in those same ways that you keep moving them. But there's a lot of really simple exercises in here to just maintain that full body movement. And she profiles, I think, 3 or 4 women who start doing these exercises in their 60s or early 70s, and they actually talk about how they feel better than they did the decade before because they started moving their body a whole lot more. So just a really encouraging, easy look. She also has a website as well, but again, local business owner. The book's available for checkout through the library, or you can find it from your local sellers. Okay, thanks a bunch.
Thank you, Emily. Could you, in the chat room, could you list the title of the book for us? I think I'll go out and check that out because my back has been not happy lately. And then could you also put the voting stats site in the chat room?
You
I
bet.
usually have that at the ready, but it's very helpful information for us, so thank you. And Dave from PUD, how are you?
Yeah,
Dave?
good morning. First, I'd like to thank Mark and the other county commissioners for allocating $45,000 of CARES money to the PUD to help financially distressed customers, both residential and commercial, pay bills. And this is an area that ever since the pandemic started, we've been looking for every opportunity to provide programs for people, and we'll continue to do so. So good to see that coming through. Quite a bit of news on our main office this time around, because just to give a little background information, from 1965 to 2015, the PUD's main office was on the east side of Port Angeles, the north side of 101, just past the Les Schwab tire store. And when we moved to the Carlsberg site in 2015, we cleaned up the old building, and there was a warehouse in the back, sold instantly. It was on a separate parcel, but the main building being a split level, basically a daylight basement building with no elevator between two floors, was not exactly an easy sell, so it's been on the market for 4 years. And the owner of the Liberty Mobile station next door went into escrow in January. We're hoping to have the sale completed by May, but with COVID, we had to extend the due diligence period and give more time for financing. So we did close on that building on July 31st. So we are all the way out of our old digs in Port Angeles, and looks like another vacant building in Port Angeles to be occupied, which is a good thing. So anyhow, with respect to the new building, in June, we had a kiosk activated in the lobby there, so people can handle bill paying and other functions in the lobby of the building. In July, we activated another Wi-Fi hotspot in the parking lot of the main office there in Carlsberg. So we now have an additional hotspot people can use. Also, we are applying for grants and loans, whatever financing we can secure, to go ahead and expand the wholesale fiber backbone between the east side here and out to Sequim and La Push, since some of the most underserved areas for broadband are in the west side of the county. We're trying to at least get a good backbone so we can expand from there. So those are the main things that have been going on with the PUD lately.
Okay.
Quick question for Dave.
Yes.
It's like Ray has a question for you.
So what are we looking at in terms of, do we have any idea what the timeline might be for, because, setting up IT infrastructure and adding, kind of fiber cables across the county, et cetera, is a time consuming process. And as I understand it, there's a significant amount of pressure right now, given that schools are not fully open and kids have to study from home. And so the need is actually very pressing at the moment. And so does the PUD have any thoughts on, how they could help support any kind of effort in trying to make sure that kids in all across the county have access to good broadband?
Yeah, we have been working with the school districts across the county, and I think the most remote areas are obviously the biggest challenge. And I think with recent meeting with other PUDs across the state, I think just the availability of materials and contractors to install fiber, if we had all the funding available, which I don't think there's any PUD that has all the funding it needs to expand fiber as much as they'd like to. It'd take 3 or 4 years just to install it all. So there's certain areas that are it's just not going to happen real fast. And we're going to try and, where we're adding fiber for the smart meter installations in Texas Valley and places, those are probably going to be some of the first places that we can get into. But other places, it's going to take a while. It's going to be hard to mobilize very quickly to actually get fiber in. So there's going to have to be other solutions.
Thank you. And Ray, I'll cover a little bit more on broadband in my the school report. And then I have some stuff from EDC. So anything else for Dave? Otherwise, let's move on to Charlene from Anderson Homes.
Morning, everyone. So I think last month somebody said be prepared because people want to move into Sequim, and I can fully attest to that. We are definitely seeing a lot of people from California, but in the last month, I have people now coming from Austin, Texas, South Carolina, Tacoma, where else? But so we're definitely seeing a lot of people coming from outside the state of Washington, although still consistent with people inside the state that want to come into Sequim. We're seeing more families than we have in the past. This has always been a big draw for retirees, but it's also become a draw for families as well. So I found that very interesting, especially in the last couple of weeks. We have pre-built specs that have now broken ground. We are moving as fast as we can at Anderson to be able to accommodate people that want to build, and not just in our two developments, Cedar Ridge and Willow Creek, but also people that are purchasing land. So there's definitely an uptick in people looking for pieces of land. And I thought that that was pretty interesting. Not all are looking for land with a view, but they're definitely looking. So we're very busy, and hopefully that continues. I expect that it will. I anticipate that it will. And definitely a lot more calling by phone. I actually sold a property sight unseen. So that is happening. People want to be here, which I understand.
Thank you very much, Charlene. And Garth, our favorite bike guy.
Good morning, everybody. I'll keep this real brief. A lot of you may know that the cycling industry worldwide is in a big pinch right now. Bicycle sales have been at an all-time high. If you've spent any time on the Olympic Discovery Trail, you've seen probably more cyclists than ever out there. I'll give you an idea of kind of what the position we're in right now. It's a little bit unique. 2019 marked the largest year in history of for sales for electric bicycles in the world. Pedego was #1 in the world last year for all of 2019. In June alone, we sold more bikes than all of 2019. So that is the kind of growth that cannot be accounted for. It's really difficult for the industry to keep up. When you take 3 months of production of tires and tubes and seats and handlebars and things like that around the world that were not being made, and then you add on an entire year's worth of sales in 1 month, you can see that there's a huge problem. All of our stores have been restricted. Many bike shops across the nation have had to close just because there are no more products we can get. Like every single tire and tube in the nation at the manufacturer side is sold out. So they're all gone. They're still waiting for rubber to show up. So in order to make more products. So there's a new type of thing that's happening, and it's basically because of the waterfall effect, if you will, that a lot of things around the world haven't been produced, and there's lots of products sitting on ocean containers, and it doesn't seem like it, but we're actually kind of at a trade war with China right now. So there's a lot of ocean containers being held up. So products are not arriving. We've been limited to selling 8 bicycles per week. That's all that we're allowed to do. And it's still going pretty good for us. And so at the average sale between $3,000 and $4,000, you could do the numbers. We're being very blessed. That being said, it's been very difficult for us here in Sequim because we're getting inundated with people from the city due to just vacationers wanting to come over and rent bicycles and do all that sort of thing. We've stopped all rentals in our store because we've been so busy with sales, and we're running all of our rentals through our bed and breakfast partners like Colette's Bed and Breakfast and the Powell's over in PA and so on. And they've actually they have 12 bicycles that are rented out every day, pretty much full time, all day. So that'll give you an idea of the kind of traveling that's happening. Hopefully the hotel industry here is seeing it, because I've definitely had a lot of visitors coming in. The other problem that was created for us up here in Sequim is our store in Portland, Pedigo Portland, was destroyed, looted, and burned to the ground during the peaceful protest. Don't ask me how that happened, but so I've been getting a lot of Northern Oregon customers as well. I have people driving as far as from Salem, Oregon, to come up here and get bicycles or help or service. Our store in Seattle and in Redmond, Washington as well, they're in the same boat. They're kind of struggling. They're dealing with everything they can. All of us have been limited. There have been times where Pedigo starts to get caught up a little bit, and we can get maybe 12 to 15 bikes during the week. But literally, if you drive by my store on any week, you'll notice a ton of cardboard boxes out front, and that's because we're unloading bikes and building bikes as fast as we can. It's been very difficult for my staff, considering that all my staff is retired people. And so they've been getting kind of overworked and stressed out. So I've had to give them time off, and that's added a little bit more of a bonus on me. So if anybody knows someone who is sharp and young and fit and wants a good job, and send them my way for sure. On the public aspect with the Olympic Peninsula Bicycle Alliance, we have not had any board meetings, and we have a board meeting coming up, and that's because all of our events got canceled for this year. The only cycling event that took place in the peninsula was the Hurricane Ridge Ride in the beginning of August, and that was, I don't know how they actually pulled it off, but they managed to pull it off, and everybody did social distance and everything. And so there was lots of people riding up and down Hurricane Ridge, and it was closed up until noon that day. So all the other events that are taking place in the cycling related area have been canceled. But that being said, the local club rides, which happen on every single Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and then some on Saturdays and Sundays, have been at maximum capacity. So the typical rides that I do during the week on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday mornings, we've seen anywhere from 20, 35 plus people showing up for these rides. And that's just a normal thing. So cycling, and I know a lot of outdoor sports in general have been hit with this pandemic, because people are kind of going stir crazy. They want to get outside and do things. On that note, I did have to shut down my Sequim kayak store. So the kayaking industry got hit as well. We sold out of every single kayak, every canoe. All the manufacturers are sold out for 2020. So we're going to reopen the store sometime in 2021 when we can get resupplied. But as of right now, there's nothing I can get. Every single life jacket, paddle, and boat is sold for this year, period. So very, very unique times.
Thank you very much, Gar, for that input and report. Aaron.
You're on mute.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you. A sort of a mixed bag with our team over at Sound Publishing. I think, as everyone on our group knows, our community is kind of suffering a little bit, with especially the unemployment benefits ending the $600 a week for many of our local people here. And that means about $11 million monthly locally, dollars that are not coming back into our community. So what we've really tried to do is be resourceful and partner, and like Brown was mentioning earlier, was really partner and being resourceful about what we're planning for this fall. We've just come up with a staycation guide called Show the Love, which is all about, I've just finished a staycation myself, which is all about hanging on and staying at home and shopping here locally. So if you're going into town, it's spending a few minutes at a bunch of stores. And so that's what we've done there. And look for that in September, about the 21st. You've probably seen our best of competition, our voting that's happened recently. And so that will be coming out, which is again in support of local business, We have a healthy living special section, and also Who's Who and home and design trends on the offing in the coming weeks and months. We've really I know the word pivot has kind of been overused during this time, but we've really tried to help our businesses here locally to think more digitally and in print during this time. Our grant program that we have had, that we've launched back in June is going through July and August here. And that has generated about $50,000 locally for our local businesses in help for them. And I will say that as far as our business is concerned, we're doing okay. We have relaunched some of our Kitsap papers, which are doing fine. Our Bainbridge Island Review is doing well. Sequim Gazette, Peninsula Daily News continue to thrive, and the Forks Forum is continuing to thrive as well. So that's it for me.
Thank you, Erin. And let's see, where's my list? I forgot EJ. I skipped ahead. So EJ, we welcome EJ from the Farmers Market. And there you are. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you. Hi, so my name's Emma Jane, or EJ for short. I'm the marketing manager at the Sequim Farmers and Artisans Market. I'll be attending meetings now on behalf of the market because Ellie is stepping back so she can focus on her farm, and we're super excited about that. So yeah, the market has been an interesting month. There's been a lot of positive community support that's just been ramping up, and we're really grateful for that. And of course, we've also seen the increased tourist activities. At this point, the market is up to just over 40 vendors. And we're just taking care to make sure that we're staying updated with safety modifications, which was a unique experience because when you're managing 40 independent small businesses and kind of addressing all of their unique needs and opinions, we had a little bit of a challenge and process to hone in on how to make sure everybody was feeling represented and also abiding to the safety modifications in place. But it feels like we've kind of hit our cruising altitude, and that's been really awesome. We are definitely growing as a market in the right direction. Just to throw kind of a fun number out there, last Saturday's market brought in over $19,000 compared to the same weekend last year, which brought in $6,200. So that's a major boost. And we're really finding that people are being really respectful at market, socially distancing, really for the most part, even the tourists abiding by the safety modifications that are posted throughout the market. And it's a very safe but upbeat time. And we've heard a lot of people discussing that it feels like kind of an homage to normalcy, even though it's not quite normal, it's not quite business as usual. People are enjoying that rhythmic occurrence of market every Saturday. So that's been really cool to participate in, and we're just really trying to keep to those safety modifications so we can keep going and keep these small businesses active. A lot of these folks, I'm sure Ellie's mentioned before, this is their primary source of income, even though it is a farmer's market. So it's really important that we're there. So we're committed to that. And an exciting thing that we're rolling out this month is just a new promotional campaign for our market match programs. And I'm not sure if Ellie's discussed that in the past, but our community nutrition programs basically look to help SNAP recipients and WIC and senior FMNP, that's the Farmers Market Nutrition Program recipients, up to double their funds at market. So when you withdraw from your EBT card at market, we will match you dollar for dollar, and FMNP users will get $20 of market currency to use towards any purchase at market. So that's something we think is really important right now. We know people are struggling financially, and it's really the best opportunity to use use your SNAP or FMNP dollars, because it stays right here in our community and you also are maximizing that. So we're rolling out, or we have kind of already rolled out some physical and digital promotions on that. And so a lot of the local social agencies and businesses have already received copies of that. But if anybody here works with populations that could benefit from just seeing that in there, whether you have like a bulletin board or you hand out like informational packets or anything like that, where people would want to know that the farmers markets are a great way to use those currencies, feel free to reach out to me. I can put my email here in the chat. I think that that's kind of the general overview. I'll be able to give better reports once I attend more meetings and know what's been said about the market in the past.
Well, thank you, EJ, and welcome to the team here. And yes, good work there at the farmers market. I try to get down there every Saturday and stroll around and get a slice of pizza and some pastry goods from, is it Blue Mountain Coffee?
Blue Mountain Baking Co. Yeah. And then Ulivo Pizza, which is a new vendor this year, stone-fired, authentic Italian pizza. That's really, really awesome. But you take it to go. It's not for eating on site.
Yeah, no, really good work there, and the social distancing and all those requirements. Thank you for, and the staff there for paying attention to that. Leonard from OMC. Hi, Leonard, how Oops, you're no sound from you.
Are you there? Can people hear me? All right, good. Let's give it a go. Okay, lots of going on at the hospital. As you know, the COVID situation is kind of the overwhelming gorilla in the room. But a couple things. First, everybody's aware Darrell Wolf has transitioned to the CEO position. That's kind of generating some changes down the administrative line here, and the search for a new COO should be pending in the near future. Also, as part of that, I would kind of, just for public information, the Board of Commissioners will be meeting Wednesday, August 19th for their monthly meeting, which is a public forum and meeting. I believe they have online access available to that for people who have an interest. All right, it is, as people probably aware, this is budgeting time of year for a large organization, and kind of the thing that's really driving a lot of that is the site neutral ruling was not upheld by the U.S. District of Columbia Court of Appeals. So that has changed, not drastically our budgeting because we were already planning for the cut, but I think it really is going to put a damper on the SQUIM expansion plans in building, especially in the primary care area. But I believe after this next Board of Commissioners meeting and retreat, we'll probably kind of have a new facing and plan for our SQUIM growth. So I think that's something for the community to be aware of. Other thing a lot of people are asking about is COVID testing in the community. First thing I want to mention is people may be aware, Lisa Autry, who is the manager of our walk-in clinics, has been the leader here at OMC with the COVID testing. So shout out to her for doing a tremendous amount of work. Basically, all of our COVID testing is funneled through our walk-in clinics, and that is where most people contact us, that or they're referred through their primary care clinic. The walk-in clinic is going to maintain oversight of the COVID testing for the organization, but we're looking at moving to a self-contained location here right on the hospital grounds that it will be specifically for COVID testing. It'll allow quicker and easier testing and some drive-up testing. Again, this is all in the planning phases, which should be rolled out in the near future. I think the biggest thing it'll allow will be a lot more testing for what we call pre-procedure testing. Anybody who's coming into the hospital for a scheduled surgery, labor and delivery, exercise stress testing, all of those people are being COVID screened or tested before they come to the hospital, usually 48 hours in advance, 48 to 72 hours in advance. We're also preparing to kind of restart a lot of the, what I would call preventative procedures and maintenance procedures that they do through our short stay. Think about your colonoscopies, endoscopies, those type of things. We're having an increased availability of pre-procedure COVID testing will be key. So just stay aware that there'll be some announcements coming up regarding where COVID testing is happening at Olympic Medical Center. I think one thing that and I'd be very curious to hear from other board members how people are doing with staffing and recruitment. I think hospital is struggling on the two ends, I would say. The entry-level staffing for people working in the laundry, dietary services, customer service is struggling right now because people are unable to work because of daycare and family needs, or because of, truthfully, just fear of working in the hospital setting. And then on the other end, the provider recruitment is really a struggle right now, and that's kind of a big push. I know everybody's working hard on that. I'm currently trying to recruit 4 people into my department on kind of the more entry-level range. I think one thing that's going to affect all the businesses and community, especially a concern for the professional departments of the hospital, is the restart of schools and how we're going to be dealing with working parents, especially in the larger departments, especially in the nursing departments. That's going to have a huge effect as options for summer daycare end and the start of the school year begin. So that's a major concern. I'm going to be having lots of those meetings over the next couple weeks. Just kind of another FYI, I've been involved with several things with the hospital here in relations to CHI Franciscan, now St. Michael's. We're all used to saying Harrison down in Bremerton. Their new facility in Silverdale is getting ready to open. I believe the date is still slated for November. I think that will kind of change some of the relationships in our medical community and our relationship to CHI Franciscan. They are our closest neighbor, and we need to work with them cooperatively because they are the closest facility for cardiac interventional surgery, your catheterizations, your bypass surgeries, your valve repairs, all that thing. And moving into that new facility will, I think, may shift some of our community's need for interventional work away from the Seattle area and more towards the Silverdale area. So I'm very curious how that's going to happen. Just kind of just so everybody's aware, I know we spoke earlier in this call about the increase in traffic in our area. I think we are all seeing the increase in the Seattle area tourist traffic over previous years as people try to stay relatively local, but that has really started to show in our emergency department and our walk-in clinic, where we're dealing a lot more with what we call our summer bump, the sprained ankles, broken wrists, vehicle accidents on the highway, which is on top of the COVID work we're already doing with the increase in community spread. And while right now we're able to handle it, I just think people need to be aware that everything in a medical setting right now takes quite a bit more time because you're having to do the extra precautions for just about anybody who walks in a facility related to COVID, whether that's testing, protection equipment that staff need to take on and off, and as they go from room to room, that can really slow everybody down. So again, we are seeing the increase in the summer traffic from Seattle, but that corresponds with the routine things we see in the ED for injuries and all those type of things, or cardiac type things, that is kind of challenging at times and increasing the stress level on all the staff. So I wanted to keep it short today. Those are all kind of the main hospital news, but I'm open to any questions because I know there's a lot going on here at the hospital.
So Leonard, it's Charlene. I do have a question. I've actually had a couple of people come in. They're nurses. They have been looking for work, and they said that they weren't able to find anything at OMC, and I was kind of surprised at that. So I didn't quite know where to direct them.
Yeah, I mean, nursing's kind of funny. They're the middle ground where we're actually doing pretty well right now. It's, again, on the ends of the spectrum that we're really struggling with recruitment. But I do think to stay in touch with our HR department, there is kind of an ongoing move in nursing here. We are about to onboard 20 new nurses through the nursing program at Peninsula College, and that's probably taken a lot of the immediate volume for nurses looking for work. But again, I'm not surprised that nursing, there are fewer opening in the nursing area, where our needs are really on the kind of entry-level positions to the hospital and then on the provider end of the spectrum. But HR is definitely the place to start for a nurse.
Thank you, Leonard. And Charlene, Sheena, who had to step off, she's works in the HR hiring department. She's a recruiter for OMC.
Mm-hmm.
And, if she was still on, she probably would have been raising her hand saying, I got it, type thing. But she's...
Yeah, there are nursing postings. I may be posting one in my department once I get through jump a few more hoops. But again, you know, in my department, my technical positions, I'm very well staffed. You know, nuclear technologists, sonographers, nurses. I need people who can do scheduling, and then on the other end of the spectrum, I'd love three more cardiologists in our community. So those types of things. At least that's what I'm seeing.
Well, thank you again, Leonard. Dion, what's the Irrigation Festival doing these days?
We are getting ready for the kickoff dinner, which is September 19th, which will be virtual. We're still trying to, it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm super excited about it because it's kind of just making waves for other people to do events like this. So we're working, Angie's actually helping us with the techie side with Event Hub, and we're moving a little slower than I anticipated, but that's probably just because of me and my industry, and I need 50 more people. So as far as once we get through the kickoff dinner, which will be a lot of fun, we will have people will be able to pick up their meals. Our sponsors will get some extra little fun things such as, you know, bottles of wine, you know, some other things like that. So we're excited about that. As of today, I was last night painting rocks with Robin and her team last night, and we will be planting rocks around Sequim. So watch for that. There's a couple that have already been posted on Facebook, and some of these rocks are amazing. In fact, some of them might not get planted because I might need them. But anyway, don't tell Robin. So watch for those because there's some fun things going on with that. We're still working on the festival. It will be combined now down to a one-day event, but it will be packed. It will still include some version of the parade. And when I say the parade, it'll be something more along the lines of a procession so that we can keep our groups small. And it will probably mainly be something like honoring our pioneers, our current royalty, past royalty, our Grand Marshal, and that's about it. We're still working on the details of how to make, you know, my wonderful idea of having a drive-in event at the Blake property down there and having the fireworks there is creating some issues in other events that do things like this. And so I'm trying to wrap my head around how are we going to make this work and make it work safely, because, you know, in my world, I'm like, okay, it's a drive-in, you guys all stay in your vehicles, blah, blah, blah. Well, apparently that's not the way the world sees it or the community sees it. They think that they can get out and mingle and all that other stuff. So since some people don't seem to be able to follow the rules, then we're going to try to figure out how to accommodate that situation. How was that said? How well was that said? So I don't know what that looks like quite yet. But what we are focusing on is trying to support our local restaurants and other things like that, where you will pick up, you know, or pre-order some meals for some of these events. We're still having Crazy Days breakfast, which is going to be cool. We will have the past royalty luncheon, which the public never gets to see. I'm super excited about that because we have, right now they're working on collecting just little snippets from past royals and talking about their favorite thing of their particular year. So it's kind of a historical portion that the public doesn't get to see. And so this will have a much different feel. I think there will be much better access, hopefully even for people that normally couldn't make it to these events or get out in the public. So I'm excited about that part. And we're just trying to support the community more than anything. We're obviously not going to come out ahead this year by any means, but we're just trying to support the community and our local businesses. So like I said, watch for those rocks, and then more is to come because it's still just forming day by day, but I'm hoping we can get something together on the times and the moving parts by next week sometime. That's about all. Any questions about what's going on with the festival? Or Angie, do you want to add anything to that?
I'm just furiously learning how to do a virtual event.
Yes, you are. Thank you for doing that. Thanks for stepping up to that task. So, but thanks everybody.
Thank you so much, and the board of the Irrigation Festival, for really thinking outside of the box. And I know those gatherings are a challenge because I'm thinking just back on my other hat with graduation.
Yeah.
That was a
Keep
challenge.
your hands and arms inside the vehicle at all time.
Yes. Yes. So, but thank you for that good work, very much so. Okay, I'm going to, since EDC's not here, I do have I'm going to share a screen of their recent event. And then Angie did type in the chat room, there's a virtual job fair starting today at 10 a.m. And you can, so let's see if I can pull up that email that I have on it. That's board minutes. There it is. Okay, can everybody see that?
Yes, it's just showing us your inbox though.
Is it this screen? Is it being shown?
Maybe click on the email itself.
Yeah, that's what I did. 1 second. Let me get back to that. So much fun. I had practiced this. Stayed up all night long. Yep. Anyway, I'll put a plug in every Wednesday. EDC has a coffee chat at 8 a.m. and I would encourage folks to sign up for that. And it's a great rundown, 1 hour of things that EDC is doing. Sometimes they have the legislators on there. Sometimes they have commissioners on there. Wide range of folks. And so I'd recommend signing on to that. And today, again, the EDC has their virtual job fair. And there's a whole listing over in the chat room of everybody that's involved in that and have the jobs. So up next, unless there's any other questions, I believe I have Gail from YMCA. So we welcome Gail to our chamber board meeting. Are you there, Gail?
I am here. I wasn't aware that I got to say anything. So, well, thank you. Thanks for letting me say hello. I've been attending these every 2 weeks, I don't know, whenever they're scheduled. I tend to listen. The YMCA opened in Sequim and Port Angeles opened on Monday. We are admitting members, prior members who want to reactivate. Everyone's welcome to come in. It's by appointment only for all of the areas of the Y. Lap swim by appointment. We have a wellness center by appointment. We have also, if you've been in the Y, all of the cardio equipment from the hallway has been put into the gym so that we can maintain our distances. We have limited availability, but we have a lot of open slots still. So if anybody's interested in coming in, I am also trying to set up an open house in the next couple of weeks so people can just come in and see what we're doing and how we're doing it and maybe get a level of comfort about working out again and see how we're keeping everybody safe. So if anybody wants to come have a personal tour, I'd be glad to show you around. And that's it.
Okay, thank you very much, Gail. I was messing with the shared screen, see if I'd get those other ones figured out. So up next, Charla, who is our president-elect, and she's going to talk a little bit about shared hospice.
Good morning, everyone. Erin, by the way, I love your door that's behind you. It's so cute. A couple of things that Assured Hospice is part of. We are providing a veterans lunch drive-through August 26th. It is from 12:30 to 1:30. It's going to be held at the Northwest Veterans Center in Port Angeles. So veterans would just drive through their alley, pick up a lunch that we're providing them, just in recognition of their service. Jim, thank you. And it's welcome to any veteran. Also, a friend of mine at Highland Court, Brianne Stewart, and I are doing something fun for the community. We are having a mask making contest. It's called Face Each Other. The hashtag is Face Each Other PNW, or hashtag, Face Each Other PNW. So it starts on the 15th. It runs through September 15th. There'll be prizes and 3 top winners, but just something to have fun. Since we're all having to wear masks, we might as well have fun with it. Kids can get involved. It's just something positive to do in the community. I'm also, thanks to Angie, going to be helping the United Way work with the Sequim restaurants to get a campaign together. I'm meeting with Carmen Geyer. I think that's how you pronounce her name, Geyer, Geyer. Today at 3, we're going to talk about it, brainstorm, and see if we can get that started to help support our Sequim restaurants and United Way, of course. So that, I believe, were my 3 things. Yeah, that's it for us at Assured Hospice. Staying busy.
Thank you very much, Charlotte, and I will post the link to the EDC coffee chat here. I saw your message for me. Let's see, who did I have next?
Lori.
There we go. Hi, Lori. And while Lori's trying to find the mute button, also want to thank Garth, who's an Air Force veteran.
Good morning, everyone. It's nice to see everybody's faces this morning on the Zoom chat. Here at First Federal, we are continuing with being strong with our personal lending, with land loans, construction, refinance, purchases, home equities. Loan rates tend to be on the lower scale right now. But something really great right now that First Federal is going to be participating in is basically we've wrapped up the PPP loans and accepting those loan applications on the 5th of August. And now we are moving into our Main Street lending program that First Federal will be a part of. And so basically this program is designated to help create flow to small, medium-sized businesses and nonprofit organizations. And that we're basically just in sound financial condition prior to the COVID crisis and now need loans to basically help maintain their operations until they're recovered from or adapt to these effects due to the pandemic. So if anyone needs any information or knows someone, you could definitely reach out. We have a team here at First Federal that is working on this process, and I can get them in contact with them. So those are some of the things that I just wanted to highlight this morning that are happening at First Federal.
Great, thank you very much. And Ray, from your AIG Retirement Services. Then I'll bring you back.
Well, it is a busy time, and it's a bit of a challenge because I manage the retirement plan for the Forks Hospital, and I can't go there, and they won't let me in. But we're having a lot of individual one-on-one meetings. We're using all of the electronic tools that are available to us, things like WebEx and so on. As far as the markets are concerned, I think we still anticipate some amount of volatility going forward. We had the big drop in March. There was a 33% decline. And, some people panicked and either pulled out of the market at that time, which was not the best thing to do. And I try to advise everybody not to do that. But now they want to get back. And so what's the most logical approach to doing that? And that's what I've been helping a lot of people who decided to step out of the market in March. Going forward, it is an election year, so I think we can anticipate some more volatility going as the year moves on. And if there's a second wave of this whole COVID-19 situation, that could also have a fairly significant impact on what the markets do. So I continue to work with all of my clients. I've got several businesses in the area, the Forks Hospital, and predominantly a lot of the employees of the school districts, all the way from Chimacum Chimacum and Port Townsend, all the way to Forks. As another thing I just wanted to bring up is that I've been in discussions with the Port Angeles School District about trying to help them figure out how to get broadband access for all of the kids there. Which it appears there's going to be somewhere around 25% of that student population is going to be challenged. And that 25% is probably like 800 kids or 900 kids, because I think their student population is somewhere in the range of around 3,500. So that's something that I'm trying to work on. I know Port Townsend has done something already, and we're trying to see if there are ways for us to replicate that across the different districts. So that's what I have business-wise. Do you want me to wait to come back to the financials, Jim?
Yes, I want to knock out a couple more reports, input. So up next is Nancy, and then I'll jump into some school district and president report. Thank you.
Okay, well, we've been extremely busy since about the 1st of July. We've been running about 95 to 100% occupancy, understaffed. So I've been doing housekeeping and front desk and breakfast, and it's been a joy. But we like the business. There's a lot of people that are very happy with the way everything is being handled here. Our pool has always been open, but it's by appointment only. Our breakfast is open, but there's protocol in place for the guests that have to follow the rules. The biggest thing is, if you haven't seen it yet on our Facebook page, or I showed it on Hey, What's Happening in Sequim, please go check out our new video and share it. Please share it. It's pretty awesome, and it's showing our Olympic National Park theme rooms also. So, and then I'd also like to mention that Black Bear Diner is supporting Captain Joseph's house right now too. So if you go in there and you round your dollars up, and that money will go to Captain Joseph's house. So we're just plugging away right here. We're still outperforming all of our competition in this area. And the Holiday Inn, as far as I know, they're pretty busy too. Not at 100%, but they're pretty busy. So we'll just take what we can get and follow the protocols that are in place and keep everybody happy and bring some business into the community. That's our goal. That's it.
Okay. Thank you, Nancy. I'm going to bring Ray back because he has another call. And we're going to jump ahead to the financial treasurer's report.